figure in the Indian freedom struggle, non-persons. Played significant role in the non-cooperation movement in Odisha. His contribution and leadership during this movement, contribution, leadership, movement are instrumental in mobilizing the people of Odisha against British colonial rule. His contribution and leadership during the movement were instrumental. His contribution and leadership during the movement were instrumental in mobilizing the people of Odisha against the British colonial rule. So, contribution and leadership during the movement were instrumental in mobilizing the people Odisha against British colonial rule. Gopal Das was deeply inspired by the Mahatma Gandhi principle of non-violent resistance. Deeply inspired by the Mahatma Gandhi. Gopal Das, deeply inspired by the Mahatma Gandhi. Deeply inspired by the Mahatma Gandhi principle of non-violent resistance and non-cooperation, believed in the power of a mass movement and the ability to bring about social and political change. When Mahatma Gandhi launched the non-cooperation movement in 1920, Gopal Das became one of the most influential leaders in Odisha. When Mahatma Gandhi launched the non-cooperation movement in 1920, Gopal Das became one of its most influential leaders in Odisha. He believed in the power of mass movement and the ability to bring about social and political change. Social and political change. When Mahatma Gandhi launched the non-cooperation movement in 1920, Gopal Das became one of its most influential leaders in Odisha. Leader in Odisha. In the movement in 1930, Gopal Das became one of its most influential leaders. The power of mass movement and their ability to bring about social and political changes. Their ability to bring. As a lawyer of journalist, Gopal Das utilized his skills and platforms. Like a journalist, Gopal Das utilized his skills and platforms to spread the message of non-cooperation. Spread the message of non-cooperation. To motivate the people of Odisha to actively participate in the movement, he established several newspaper journals such as the Samaj, Satyavadi, which played a crucial role in the disseminating nationalist ideas and mobilizing public opinion. Gopal Das also organized public meetings, rallies and processions. Public meetings, rallies and processions to raise awareness about the goals and principle of non-cooperation movement. Public meeting is rallies procession to raise awareness about the goals and the principle of the non-cooperation movement. He emphasized the importance of boycotting British institutions. Kalinga War, main questions. Actually, Kalinga War fought between the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka and the state of Kalinga, and the independent feudal kingdom. Feudal kingdom located in the east coast and the present day northern part of the Andhra Pradesh. That produced 261 BC and present day presumed to have been fought on Dhauli Hills, situated on the bank of the river. The causes and nature of Kalinga War are discussed below. Ashoka expansion ambition, Kalinga wealth and resources, Kalinga control over the trade routes with Southeast Asia, and the nature of Kalinga War, deadliest conflicts in ancient India, scale of violence from today, Ashoka to give up military conquest for the foreseeable future. Conquest, give up military conquest, nature of Kalinga War. Ancient India, deadliest conflict. Violence and casualties were proportionally high. Level of violence and casualties. Violence and casualties. 1 lakh people were killed in this war, several lakhs perished, killed, and a lakh and a half were taken prisoners. The war had a lasting impact of Kalinga. The war had a lasting impact. Kalinga was a fight between powerful kingdom and the causes of war were political and economical natural because of their existence nearer to each other. Ashoka expansion, ambition and Kalinga wealth and resources were the primary reason for the war. There was one of the deadliest conflict in ancient India. The scale of violence prompted Ashoka to give up a military conquest. The scale of violence prompted. The level of violence and the casualties were proportionally high, and the war had a lasting impact on Kalinga. Lasting impact on Kalinga. The war had a lasting impact. The level of violence and casualties were proportionally high. Harala was a great conqueror and the empire builder in the history of Odisha. Great conqueror and empire builder of history of Odisha. Harala ancient ruler conqueror. Kalinga represented Odisha. Ruler of Kalinga was indeed a significant figure of the history of Odisha. Prominent and renowned as a great conqueror and empire builder, he ruled during 1st century BC and left a lasting impact on the region through his military conquest and administrative achievements. Lasting impact on the region through the military conquest. Lasting impact of region through military campaigns, conquest. Kharavada ascended the throne of Kalinga as a king. Kharavada ascended to throne of Kalinga as a king of the Mahameghavana. Kharavada ascended to throne ascended Kalinga as the king of Mahameghavana dynasty. His reign is primarily known for the Hattikumpa inscription. Hattikumpa inscription. His reign primarily known for the Hattikumpa inscription. Reign is primarily Rakota inscription in Udayagiri near Bhubaneswar. Udayagiri Hattikumpa known for Hattikumpa inscription. Reign is primarily known for Hattikumpa inscription. Rakota inscription in Udayagiri. The Hattikumpa inscription provided valuable information about Kharavada conquest and achievements and state of Kalinga Empire during the rule administration ruling. Kharavada most notable military campaign was the invasion of Magadha. Kharavada most notable military campaign was the invasion of Magadha, present-day Bihar. His invasion against Brihaspati Mitra, Magadha Sunga ruler and subsequent defeat of the Indo-Greek ruler Demetrius. Magadha Sunga ruler and the defeat of the Indo-Greek rulers Demetrius. He is said to have defeated several other rulers and expanded the Kalinga Empire to zenith. Kharavada military conquest demonstrated his strategic prowess and his ability to consolidate power in the region. Prowess and ability to consolidate power in this region. Apart from his military conquest, he had also focused on internal administration and the public warfare. The Hattikumpa inscription highlighted his contribution to irrigation project construction. Kharavada also focused on internal administration and public welfare. The Hattikumpa inscription highlighted his contribution to irrigation project construction of reservoir. Contribution to irrigation and construction of reservoir and development of agriculture. He also credited with the establishment of actually Kharavada reign. Kharavada reign was marked by the prosperous and culturally vibrant era in Kalinga. Culturally vibrant, he played a crucial role in promotion of art, literature, architecture. Under his patronage, several magnificent temple, sculpture, and cave complexes. Magnificent temple, sculpture, and cave complexes were constructed. Kharavada's contribution to the development of Odisha art and architecture continued to inspire and influence the region's cultural heritage. Empire built by the Kharavada left a lasting impact on the history of Odisha. Its conquest expanded the territorial boundaries of the Kalinga Empire and established its dominance in the region. Empire built Kalinga Empire and established its dominance in the region. Dominance in the region. Major implemented warfare measures implemented during this reign contributed to overall prosperity of kingdoms. Hathungaba execution highlight his contribution to irrigation project, construction of reservoir, and the development of agriculture. He also credited Kharada with the establishment of numerous monasteries and patronage of Jain religion. Kharada Jain religion. History of Odisha is well established. Military success, administrative achievement, and patronage of arts and culture contributed significantly to the development and prominence of the Kalinga Empire. Kharavada reign remains a significant chapter in the rich historical tapestry of Odisha. Rich historical tapestry of Odisha. Paika rebellion 1957. Cause of Paika rebellion. Paika rebellion. British administration led by the Major Fletcher implemented exploitative policies that were unable to people of the Odisha. Major Fletcher, British regulations were not available in the Odia. Paika rebellion. 1817. Significant uprising against the British colonial rule in India, while the revolt of 1857, also known as Indian Revolution 1857, First War of Independence, was widespread rebellion. Actually, discuss the cause of Paika rebellion. Paika rebellion. Actually, Paika rebellion. Paika rebellion Odisha compared. Paika rebellion actually British exploitative policies in Odisha during the 19th century. Led to the Paika rebellion. The British administration led by the Major Fletcher implemented exploitative policies that were unbeatable for the peoples. That were unbeatable by the people. By the peoples. Actually, manufacture of the salt resulting in the increased prices. The introduction of the new currency system created difficulties for the villagers who were including the removal of the Raja and reorganization of administration angered the people. Akshagandhu, the commander of the Raja, became displeased due to the loss of his lands and the false accusation against him, leading to the rebellion. March 19, 1817, which acts rebellion and attacks on the government buildings. The rebels captured Khurda and nearby areas, leading to proclamation of Raja Mukundadeva as the ruler. The British authorities dispatched troops to suppress the rebellion, resulting in clashes and the capture of rebel leaders. The rebellion spread to other areas but was eventually suppressed. Military operations, Bakshi and his followers took shelter in different places and adopted new tactics. But the British became success. Compared to the Paika rebellion, with the revolt, primarily limited to the region of Odisha. Here in 1857, much wider geographical spread. 1857, wider region. Various part of India, including the North India, Central India, and parts of South India. Leadership of the two uprisings differed significantly. The Paika rebellion was led by local leaders such as the Vakshagandhu, Vidyadhara, Jayarajaguru, who rallied the Paikas against the British. In contrast, the revolution in 1857 saw the participation of both local leaders and the Indian soldiers. Sepoy from the British Indian Army, along with notable figures like Rani Lakshmibai, Jhansi, Nana Sahi, Bahadur Shah too. It was the first pan-India movement. Objective motivation. The objective of the motivation behind the two uprisings also varied. Motivation behind the two uprisings. The Paika rebellion primarily aimed to end British oppressions. Aimed to end, regain socio-political autonomy in Odisha. The revolution in 1857 on the other hand had broader objectives, including restoration of Mughal Empire, the preservation of religious and cultural traditions, and the overthrow British rules. Timing and outcomes. The timing and outcomes of the two uprisings differed as well. Paika rebellion occurred 1817 and eventually suppressed by the British, leading to the consolidation of their control over the Odisha. The revolution of 1857, which took place several decades later, had a more profound impact on the Indian independence movement, although it was ultimately suppressed by the British. It